Sunday morning, and as you can see, it is absolutely gorgeous out. So temperatures aren't bad, which means need to get some work done. So plans for today, and I thought I'd bring you along with us. So the plans for today is we need to gather up a lot of brush, and I have a bunch back here, get it down to the road. Our association is paying this year to have a tree service come out because we had a lot of downed trees throughout the canyon. And they're going to pay for a tree service to come and shred or chip or whatever you want to call it, all this brush that all of us have back here, which is really nice. But you have to get it down to the road, and I think they're doing that next weekend. Originally, it wasn't going to be until in April, but because the weather's broke, they've moved it up. So that's going to be one. Number two, and let's see if I can swing around and show you, I ended up getting new tires. My tires had went bad on my John Deere, and so we got those mounted, but somewhere in transition I've lost a spacer. So later today we got to run to town. I'm missing a spacer, so I can't use the tractor right now. In fact, you can see there's still a jack. So we're gonna get to that project done, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, we're gonna fire up the chainsaw right now because I've got a couple branches that were so big they need to be cut down just to move them. So let's go ahead. I'm going to back the truck out to get to the chainsaw. We're going to fire up the chainsaw. We're going to cut that. Then I think we're going to use the truck and we're going to start moving. If we get everything done, then the next project is I have a tire on Tex that's losing air thanks to my tire minder TPMS system. And that's how I knew that we had a problem. So what I need to do is I need to hitch on, pull it up a little bit. I want to try to find if there's a nail or something in it. But anyway, it doesn't really matter what it is. I think I'm gonna have to take it off, jack it up, take off, and then next week run it to town. I've got to get that fixed before we travel again. So, okay, let's get rolling. So Patty and I have an agreement. When I bought my first chainsaw, she was not happy. She was worried about me. So I bought all the safety equipment. So the arrangement we have is I'm allowed to use the chainsaw as long as I wear my safety equipment. So, and honestly, that's just good practice. If you don't believe me, search on YouTube chainsaw accidents, chainsaw incidents. It's not pretty. So I have the, the chaps. I have this hat. I always wear safety goggles because I don't want to get something in my eye. And even on this project, you're gonna laugh when you see how small we're gonna make a couple cuts here. But it just makes sense because it only takes one time to end up in the ER. So let's go ahead and chop up this little limb. But again, I tried moving it by hand. It's just too heavy. So this will make it a lot easier. This big old new chainsaw, easy here. I tell you what, if you're looking for a chainsaw, this steel, it's an MS251C. See, hopefully you can see that. I love this. And what I really love is this easy start. All you have to do, I'm trying to think which way is the best way here. Okay. All you have to do is you don't have to do that old yank where you're ripping your socket out. Just kind of pull up. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up. And let me do that again. So you're just kind of pulling up till you feel tension, and then you just pop. Tension. I'm not getting any younger, so it just makes it start. My other one works great, but sometimes you're like, wear my shoulder out. So, okay, now I need to start dragging this stuff down the road. There we go. Whew, I'm winded. I think the worst part of the lingering effects of the COVID is the shortness of breath and how quickly it's coming on. So, but I got the big stuff moved down. If we get the tractor running, we'll hitch up the little wagon and clean up some of the small stuff. But honestly, I'm not too worried about the small stuff because, you know, it's just gonna, you know, turn brown and make good bedding, more pine needles. So not too worried, but I say we put this away, go in and see what Patty's up to on this Sunday morning. Oops, looks like Patty's up to some laundry. There's a Truman and Bess just chilling on Sunday morning.
I'm up here.
What you doing, Patty?
I doing a little schoolwork and I'm doing my painting.
Ah, uh-oh. So just doing some schoolwork?
Yeah, I got my stuff plans all plug and chug and I'm good. So I'm ready.
All right. Any other big plans besides the laundry?
Well, and I need to work on the blog.
Oh, a new blog might be coming out soon.
Yeah, I gotta work on that. I meant to start last weekend and I forgot. But it's gonna be about organizing.
Organizing the trailer.
Yeah, because I love, you know me, I love to organize.
I know you do.
That's my thing.
Patty's a organized, clean gal.
Things.
Keep it clean.
And need to be in their place.
Yep.
Everything has a place.
All right, I got that cut up down below. I'm gonna go out and start working on the back stuff.
Okay.
Okay, I need to make some room here because we're gonna load some of this stuff. I got this big truck, I'll let you use it, but I'm gonna need to move some stuff. So first thing is we're gonna roll back the tonneau. Okay, that should give me enough bed space to throw limbs up in here because I'm only gonna do the big stuff. So I had been just piling stuff up out here as it came down earlier this year. So again, the smaller stuff I'm not going to worry about. You can see I've got lots of piles going. I got so much wood I can burn for outdoor fires. The smaller stuff I'm going to keep here because I can actually chip that myself. I've got one of those Harbor Freight Portland chipper shredders that does up to 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I can't remember. It works pretty good. I got to go get it. It's being stored at my brother-in-law's. But if there's anything bigger in here, which there is, we're going to go ahead and get that out of here. And we're going to take it up and load it in the truck. So let's go ahead and just go into some time-lapse footage of me getting some of this big stuff out of here. Enjoy. So if you're new to this channel, you might be wondering, watching this video, like, what's the deal? Where is he? He looks like he's in the UP of Michigan. Well, no, we're actually in Northeast Indiana, and we live in this 1,400 square foot split log home or log cabin. And the history of the house, as we were told, was it was built in, I believe, 1997, and by a lady. The story goes that she was getting a divorce, and by the way, I don't know if this is true. This is just stories people have told me, but she was getting a divorce. Her husband always wanted a log cabin, and so she kind of built it out of spite. And then she never wanted a log cabin, so she hated it. And a year later, she sold it. The gentleman who bought it lived here until 2015 when he sold it, and he didn't really want to sell, I don't think. I mean, you know, it's one of those things, sometimes you have something, you know you need to upgrade, but you don't really want to. But he was remarried, and they just needed a place for grandkids. So there's only 2 bedrooms in this. So my understanding was it was just too small for them. They outgrew it. And so now here we are 5 years later. We affectionately call this place Tall Pine Lodge because we're in this housing community that's set on a small private lake. I believe there's about 100 acres. And back in maybe the 60s or 70s, we're told the Boy Scouts planted all these beautiful tall pines. They're white pines. And so somebody came in the late, I think, 70s, developed it, and there's, I believe, 60 lots back here. Currently there's a little over 40 actual houses, maybe 45, I don't know the exact number. And so yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And as soon as you get to the top of the canyon, because when you come into our area, you kind of descend down to lake level, and then it splits around. When you get to the top, you're back up in Indiana cornfields. So it does feel like we're someplace else, which is why we absolutely love it here. Now, there's some unique maintenance that goes along with owning a log cabin and living in the woods, and obviously all these downed limbs is some of it. Big problem we've been told is these trees should have been thinned out years ago. And so they were never thinned out. There's way too many trees back here. They're all competing for sunshine. And so a lot of them just die off. Now, it gets very violent when it's storming out here. You would think the world was coming down watching these pine trees sway. I've posted clips of that before. But they bend, but most of the time they don't break. But eventually they start to rot, and then they will break. And so this spring, or this winter, when we had that ice storm, and then it got really windy, it was just too much for some of them. So that's what we're cleaning up today. If you've never seen our house, we do have a tour over on Travels with Delaney from about 3 years ago. You can check that out. And honestly, we need to do an updated tour, and we'll put that on this channel. So, all right, time to get in the truck. I got to take one load down, unload it, come back, and there's plenty more. I'm guessing I've got at least 1, maybe 2 more loads to get down there. There, I hope you enjoyed your ride down. Now I gotta get this stuff thrown off. This is a lot easier than hauling it piece by piece down that driveway. It's a long way from out back. There we go, first load unloaded. So now we're just gonna do this a couple more times. I doubt you wanna watch me do this, so. That had to be a rocky ride for you, but it is great having this truck. So I wonder, do you guys ever wonder this? Do you ever wonder, like, when you buy a used vehicle, like the story behind it, or even a house? You know, like Montana, and for those of you who don't know, Montana is what I call my Tundra, because we purchased it in Montana. I know, real creative. But it was owned by a single lady who owned a ranch, is what I was told. Whoop. Sorry about that. And she had traded in on a brand new 2020. This is 2017, had about 50,000 miles when I bought it. But, you know, I often wonder, like, what did she use it for on the ranch? Do you think it ever hauled limbs, or was it hauling hay? Was it hauling feed for animals and maybe seed? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that wonders questions like that. So all I know is I absolutely love it. This is my second Tundra, and they have always, both of them do me well. If you want to know more about this truck, I also have a video on that. I know I got a video on everything.
Well, I'm sitting here at my laptop trying to get started on the next blog, and he alluded to it earlier. It's about organization, how we organize the trailer with the little gadgets and gizmos, and I'm always looking and watching what other people do to figure out how I can make our house or the trailer or even my classroom more organized, because we've learned from moving from a bigger house in Auburn to our smaller house that even with camping and all that, to use your up space. So we're trying to figure out how to use more of the up space and not let it just be all low kind of storage bins, but more like hanging bins in the camper. So I'm going to do a blog here, I think, about how we organize our camper, because we just did some stuff over the winter to try to make it a little more efficient, a little more easy accessible to things. And in my mind, just like in the cabin, and I guess it's just something I learned as a kid, everything should have its place. I guess my mom never liked things sitting out. You always had a spot for like your shoes. What you doing, puppies? This is your spot, isn't it? This is where you like it. You got your blankie, you got your chew toys. Yeah, this is your spot, right? You love it. Because sometimes little Bessie and Truman like to go in here. This is their little kennel. We call it Truman's office, since he is, El Presidente. And I know it's kind of dark in there, but it's kind of big. They love it. They got a nice pillow bottom there that we redid. And then their little toys they like to hang out with, and a water dish. And then over here, of course, look at all the toys. You guys are spoiled. Look at that. Look at that. So we're just hanging out on a Sunday. I was working on the blog. Where'd you go, pups? And these guys, of course, are hearing noises and are barking because they think when the chipmunks, or I think Patrick was getting some wood on the other side of the house on this side, they thought they was an intruder, so they didn't like it. Right, guys? Okay. We're gonna need to get outside because look at this gorgeous day we've been given. Beautiful.